Hey guys, Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you. Now, when the last lot of Corsair fans come out, which were of course the magnetic levitation fans, because apparently I'm not allowed to say maglev. Oh! Anyway, when they come out, there was a lot of hype about the fact that there was fixed colours. You had the non-LED ones, you had white ones, you had red ones, and there was blue ones. And there was a lot of hype, and there was a lot of rumours, and there was a lot of messages about RGB fans coming. Well, they're here. Okay, so you can see that we do have two different types, and they are very different types of fans as well, with different performance. Well, not different in the kind of the blade design, but more in the, as you can see, the lighting design. And I will pop them open so you can have a look. But the SPs that we have here on the left, they have a maximum speed of 1400 RPM with a 1.45mm H2O static pressure. They say the sound level is 26 dBA. It's only a 3-pin fan, and it's the hydraulic bearing with a 600mm cable length, that's 60 centimeters. And then the HD, that is 800 to 1725 RPM with a maximum CFM of 54.4 and a 2.25mm H2O rating. They say that's 18 to 30 dBA. It's a hydraulic bearing as well, but the HD120s are 4-pin, so they are PWM. So we will have a quick look inside the box, because there are 3 fans in this box, and you get the controller and everything to go with them as well. Now we can tell that with the 3 packages, we've got 3 identical fans in there. So we'll pull this out. These are the SPs. Does always. Right, there we go. Right, so when we open it up, it looks very much like the ML fans, and I'm showing you kind of this section apart from there's no rubber insert or anything like that on the inside of these ones. The blades, rather than being clear as they were on the MLs, you can see that they've got that lovely frosted effect, which I'm assuming that when they, because the lights on these ones are on the inside, that will give you a really nice dispersion throughout the blades. In the actual accessories box, I needed to keep my knife handy, but in the accessories box, what we do end up with, and this is why they're all kind of funky, is because you do have a controller. Now the controller you can connect up to 6 fans on, so you only actually need to buy, well, because you can buy the fans individually. So if you want to plug them into a controller, you don't need oodles and oodles and oodles off of them, but you do get a controller and then the hub. And with the controller, as you can see up here, we've got speed, colour and mode, which I will explain to you about in more depth in a minute. One thing I will say is if you do have them so that you want them to change colours in order, you do have to connect them in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be the way that they will chase. There is a cable which goes in on the end of the controller here, and basically what this allows is for you to be able to control either the mode, the speed or the colour changing from an external source. Now the new Corsair 740 case actually has a switch which is designed to go on these, but you could use the reset switch on your case or the power switch, or you could wire in your own switch. It's literally just a 2-prong. It looks very similar to the kind of switches that you would get on a motherboard header, but you can pop that in there, and then which way around is it? You can pop that in there, and then you can have an external control, or you could end up wiring this onto your case somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Have it built into the design. Anyway, there's lots of options with that. And with this colour selector, what you can do is you can click that and it will go white, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and then on the last one it will cycle through all of them. With the mode switch, it's breathing and flicker, static, breathing on its own, flicker on its own, and then return to beginning. And then the speed switch, and this will be the speed of the breathing, the speed of the cycle. It's high, medium, slow, and then return to the beginning. Really simple. But with the external switch, you can only use, if you have one of these connected, you can only use one of these at a time. So you could only have it 4 mode, 4 speed, or 4 colour. I would assume that most of you are going to end up fixing the colour and then going through the modes. But obviously that's totally up to you with the customising side of things. When we do go back to looking at the fans, what you can see is you have your fan cable, when the camera comes in, fan cable, and then you've also got the cable that goes into the hub. So that would go in this way round. There we go. So you do have 2 lots of cables. So it could be a mission to keep them tidy. So you're going to have to do some planning if you want to get this. I would assume that you're going to end up trying to get this quite close to your fans. One of the good things about the hub is it does support... Oh, come on. Anyway, it does support 6 fans. So if you've got a triple radiator and you're water cooling, you've got enough on here for push-pull. Also, if you've got, for argument's sake, a H100i V2, you could have push-pull on that, and then you could have 2 for case fans, or you could have 2 for your H100i and then 4 case fans. There's lots of options here. So lots of cabling and stuff, because obviously the fan itself needs to be told what colours and the light to do. But I think it's time we should have a look at the HDs. I'm actually quite interested in these because it's a completely different look. Now we know what's in the box on the top because I've shown you with the other one. It's all the same connectors, all the same accessories. I just want to have a look at the fan itself. And the first thing that I can see while I'm ripping it out of the box is we have frosted blades again. I'm actually quite the fan of the frosted blades, I must say. I do like the look of that. But what you can see is we have LEDs around, or RGBs, around the outside of the blade. There's a lot going on with the design around the outside so that you get a better dispersion of the light itself. You can see all the little like dimples and around, but you can see the RGB is there. I come around a little bit further. There it is again. So all of these bits are just to catch the light and help disperse the light, as will the frosted blades. But on these ones, the HDs, you can see the rubber is back, exactly the same as the maglev fans, although these obviously don't have the magnetic levitation bearing. It's only a hydro bearing, but the rubber is back on the back sides. So these are the more premium of the two. But they do look nice. But what about the lights? Okay, so I have given the fans 12 volts of power, but because the LEDs are powered separately to the actual fan speed, it makes absolutely no difference at all. So I've only given them 12 volts of power, just that they're spinning at max, so that you do get an idea on the colours. Now on the top of the switch, as I told you before, you have your speed button, but we're going to concentrate on the colour and then the mode. So modes to start off with, this is just the static, but if we press it once, we get a breathing and a flicker. Now I've got this in the fast mode. We could change the speed. So that's now on slow. We go medium. And now that's high. Back to mode. This is flicker. This is kind of a combination where it's doing a bit of everything, including changing all the colours as well. This is actually a really good way of being able to show you the colours. I think that's almost a bit like a Christmas tree effect. So now we're back to fixed. If we go to colour, this is white. This is the beginning one. This is a really good one for you to have a look at, to be able to actually judge the RGB itself, because white's quite a hard colour. And I'm not seeing any particular greens or even blues come through. So they've obviously paid quite a bit of attention to that. I think the frosted blades are probably going to be helping here. But if we go on to the colours, white is the first. Then that is your red. I can confirm that to the eye that is actually a very vivid red. It can be different, not necessarily with the way that we record or video, but sometimes just the calibration of your screen can make it look a bit different. But it is a very vivid red. You probably pick it up a little bit better on my, like the reflection on my hands and stuff. The screen on the camera does make it look a bit orange, but we can never quite tell. Then talking of orange, there we go. There is actually quite a trippy effect with the orange. I'm not sure whether the camera will pick up on it. I think that's quite cool. Anyway, so that's yellow. Green for all the NVIDIA fanboys. We've obviously had red for all the NVIDIA AMD fanboys. Then we go into a blue. This is violet. Again, you do get a trippy effect, because you can pick up the blades and then the difference in colours. I think that's quite cool. Anyway, and then if we go on again, this should cycle through all of the colours, and this is why I had the speed on fast. We'll say that when we got here, it would go through really quickly. We can obviously change the speed. All the way back to white, and we've got 3 fans hooked up here, which is the most that you can get in a package. But the thing to remember is there is room rather for 6 on the actual controller. Okay, so on to the HDs. One thing I can say is that this white is bright. I'm actually really quite impressed with how I'm trying to, so you can see my hand, but they are much brighter than I was expecting. Obviously there's a lot more LEDs and they're a lot more spaced out. The white is actually quite good. Again, I think the frosted blades on this have made it sound really good. One thing that I can say as well is when you connect the lights in, the fans do start spinning a bit faster. We have them on a 12-volt line from a Molex, but when you do plug the LEDs in, they do kick up a little bit more of a notch as well. Now I showed you all the colours with the modes and everything on the ones before, but we have, this is the white, that is the red, and that is a not quite as deep a red as the one before. It's still what I would call a red, little bit more orange to it. I'm trying to do describe this to you in a more verbal way, just in case that we get some calibration issues your end or my end. But then we move on again and we have the orange, then the yellow, the green. That's quite a minty green, that. Going to be a lot of NVIDIA fans happy with that green. Blue, the violet. Now that violet is a very pastel-y kind of colour. That's almost what I would call an off-white. I have seen some RGBs in the past where manufacturers have tried to pass that colour off as white, so it's not quite as vivid as the one before. This should be the cycle. There we go. So I'm just going to speed it up. That's on medium. See the camera trying to focus its way through these. Now the trippy effects with the colours on the ones from before, we're not really getting with these outside ones. Oh, a little bit the camera's picking up. Okay, so we'll go back to fixed and we'll just whiz through the modes for you quickly. Now that is cool. I didn't know it did that. That's the first time I've seen it do that. That is really cool. I like that a lot. Love it. Let me see if I can change the colour on that now. I like that. That is going on Instagram. Tiny Tom Logan, if you didn't know. Right, so now we're going to go back to mode again. Oh, it's changing it for me. I'm not doing that. That's doing it. That's obviously on its own. That is nice. That's cool. Right. Oh, I hit the speed button then by mistake, so you can see it's actually gone a bit slower. Right, let me just smash this up quick again. Right, colour. Right, we're back up to white fixed. So I'm going to hit the mode button again. Oh, we got a little bit of dancey Christmas tree going on. And then, oh, that's clever. Can you see it's fading from the top to the bottom? Oh, there's a bit of everything going on, I think. That's me, I hit the button again. Right, and I think we're back to the beginning. I like that. Okay, so on to the conclusion, and I think we can agree unanimously, if you like LED fans in your case, then something like this is going to be pretty cool. The SPs do work out slightly cheaper. They don't really have like the extra effects that you can get with the HDs, and I have to say, I didn't think I was going to like these. Even when ages ago, I was talking to Corsair about fans and stuff, and they were like, oh yeah, we won't send you too many of the other white maglev fans yet, because we think you'll really like these. And I was like, no, I'm just going to want white. And the fact that you can get these in such a good white, because it is difficult for an RGB, but you've got all those funky things as well, is pretty cool. Now, this is the point where you need to sit down, you need to put your drink down. If you're eating, finish your chew, swallow it, don't put any more in your mouth, because we're going to talk about prices. Now, an individual SP fan is $14.99 and an individual HD fan is $21.99. So these are kind of cheaper than the maglevs. These are around the price of the maglevs. Now, what we do need to remember is that when you get these, you can buy them individually, and that's the individual price. If you want to get a single fan with a controller kit, so that you can do all the controlling and you can change all the modes and everything like that, it's $24.99 for these, and then it's $31.99 for these. Now that does sound expensive, but you need to remember, you can, once you've got your controller and everything, you can then go and buy another 5 individual fans to beef it out, so you don't have to spend that 24 or 31 every time. If you want a triple fan kit with a single controller, for these it's $49.99, and for these it's $69.99. So if you wanted to have 5 fans in your case of these, you're looking at £110, give or take. So it's an awful lot of money. Now, I love the modes and everything, but one of the things I can't help but think with these, that there's no way to link it up to the Corsair link. I don't know whether we're going to get another version later on, or whether you could eventually kind of like hook up a fan connector to this, because it would be kind of nice if you could have some manual control over the color phases, or like if you've got, like me, I have different light modes on my H100i V2, so that when it's in quiet it goes green, and it's just with a very visual look I can look over and I know what the the light mode is. And that's more for when I'm benching and I've got multiple things going on in the office. I'll give it a look. I know it's in green. That should be going red right now because I need it to be on turbo mode because I'm doing the overclock benching or something. And it'd be nice if you could change the rest of the fans in the rig, almost like the Corsair ecosystem, because now that they've just released the MM800 mouse mat, which I will show you. I've not made the video yet, but I will be. And this is an RGB mouse mat. But anyway, so you've got RGB headsets, you've got RGB mouse mats, you've got RGB mice, you've now got RGB fans, yet these can't go in the link. So I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity with this one. I think it should have had a USB connector on it or something, so you could, because I would have had them fading from white to red all day long, and I would have done it in the video, and I probably would have ended up doing it on my own rig at some point as well. But I love the fact you could do the chase. And it would also be good if with these you could set them up so you could have a little bit more manual control if there was some software option. I'm going to assume though that if they were to introduce something like that, and they've probably thought about it, because let's face it, it's Corsair, and they probably have thought about it, and it would have made them a lot more expensive. Maybe, and this is just an option, this is obviously me being annoying because they hate it when I do like this, the fan controller, maybe they could introduce one that you could buy separately with a link connector on it or something. I personally think that would be amazing, and if you make it, I'd like some royalties. Big head. Anyway, so eye-wateringly expensive, yes. I'm very much favouring the HDs over the SPs from a personal standpoint. These are a lot more subtle, not quite as bright, non-Christmas tree-esque. These ones much brighter, much more light going in, much more light obviously going to be coming out if you've got a like the room. Don't forget though, if you want to be, you can obviously turn them off, so you can hook up. I showed you the little thing so that you can hook it up to, for argument's sake, your reset switch. I don't know about you, but I never use a reset switch, and on my main rig, my reset switch is actually the power switch now, because I got rid of the power switch. But anyway, so sometimes you have got spare buttons. You could also wire in a button somewhere in your rig, little hidden one, underneath the front or something, so you could flick through and cycle, and then you do get the option then of speed, colour or mode, and obviously you can play around which one works best to your heart's content. So yes, crazy expensive, but this I think is going to be one of those things where you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And the people that are going to hate it are going to harp on in the comments like no one's business, and the people that are going to like it are literally going to be just chucking their wallet at the screen and saying send it to me. And that is why I think they deserve the OC3D Enthusiast Award. I would say that the HDs deserve it more, really. I think that's a lovely, lovely effect. But to be giving you the two options, that you can have ones with the central lighting, a little bit less going on, and then save yourself a bit of money as well. I don't see that as being a particularly bad thing. But I'm definitely at the, I like these, I want these, I need another 3 or 4 boxes of these so that I can get them all in a rig and all playing and all lovely, and then do loads more crazy stuff with them. The only other thing I can think of as well is 6 fans in your case. Yes, epic. But if you had that link option or something like that, if you had multiple sets, you wouldn't have to go around clicking multiple buttons. It could just be one thing. So they're going to hate me for saying I think it's missing the link, but I genuinely do think they would have been that extra level of amazing awesomeness. But hey, do you know what I mean? For the flick of a button, and to be fair, it's probably saved you about $5 or $10 from the cost of the controller to be able to get that link going in. I think most of us would rather press a button for a little bit, and I'm just as stereotypically being picky. So OC3D Enthusiast Award. If you don't mind, I'm going to go and get these into the 740 now, which I'm also reviewing, and the video is going up live today. It's the new Corsair Cube 740. It's the next one up from the from the 540, which has been out a little while. So if you've not seen that, go and have a look for the video. New Corsair Cube case. It does look awesome. See? Anyway, for now at least, this is Tiny Tom Logan with another, well, I don't want to say stereotypical so much today, but anyway, with another video for you. Out.